Hello, friend. So looks like the action continues. It's not over yet. We start off with the small ones and we get to the bigger stuff. Let's see. So, remember, we've been hearing about the resurrection of action in the North Coast, which the capital, as we call it over here, between you and me, is Seventh Island, Sept-Îles. So here you have it. We start off with the usual criminal fire on a residence. And this one's from, it's been a couple of days. 31st of August. Don't think we need to spend more than a couple of seconds. They're still open to the suspicion that it's related to the BFM wars versus the Hells Angels. But as we know now, it looks like the Hells Angels have been going out. I think they had an event. I think there's one of these articles that talks about they had an event in that area, and that's why we saw them in a footage. The Hells Angels underlings were like 2 or 3 clubs were hanging out over there, and while they were there at a bar, suspicion of them. Well, you saw the video. They beat up a guy and someone caught it, and they had the guy, one of the bikers, outside of the bar, not letting anyone else come in. It's as if they anticipated they were going to do that, because it didn't look like a serendipitous event. Why would the other guy be outside and blocking people from coming in, So I'm a little bit suspicious on that. And plus, I got something else that happened lately in that area. So I'm not too I'm not too confident in coincidences. It looks like it's some sort of energy flow of events that's suddenly happening over there, And instead of being by third parties, it's themselves, except one today that's by a third party. However, that third party, it couldn't be more obvious. You're going to see about that. On a Billy Gamel. Comment ça va, bro? Billy Gamel. Comment ça va, frère? On a Billy Gamel et Chris Hensley. What up, buddy? So yeah, that's the first one. We get to the next. This one's in Montjoli. It's not. I don't think this is nearby. Sorry, my geography is not too good. I never leave my immediate circle. I do a few times and then I forget where I went. I just know I went to Quebec City and all the towns in the middle. I can't remember. So these other names, I'm not too familiar. But 2 vehicles destroyed by flames. One thing that I am familiar with is that. So this one's August 31st. Again, you look how close it is. It says the same day, pretty much. But I'm not sure about how close this is to the other events. But here you have photos. This one happened, they said, 4:30 in the AMs, which is about the same timelines we usually see them. The previous one, I don't see hours on it. Oh, it says close to midnight. So we continue. More, that was a residence, and this one is a vehicle. Next one, a man in his 20s. Injured by rounds. They tried to off him, it seems like it. So here I see a grocery store. Is this the story we read last year? What a coincidence. I don't think it's the same one. No, it's a fresh, right? It's fresh. Because just last year, me and you, we talked about it in one of these small towns. Beautiful place. There's very nice people in Chaudière-Appalaches. The country folk, if you will. They're very cool. But this is not the first one. The last one we had, it was in a country area, sort of like this, calm, and they went inside of the. It was the same thing. It was a grocery store type of market. They went in, and they shot up. The guy went for a kill inside of it. You remember there was the interview outside. He interviewed the grandmother who passed by, and she was not fazed one bit. But look at this. Another one, I see a little market stuff, like a like a mini grocery type of place, and I see a shooting again. A man in his 20s, transported to the hospital, but he's gonna survive. What else do we got? Got hit in the leg. This one doesn't look, and it's these ones don't happen at midnight, between midnight and 4. The car's burning, the residence burning, and all that. Those messages happen between midnight to about 6 a.m. usually. Now the ones that they're hardcore in the middle of the day, bro, though. Totally in the middle of the day. This one says in the afternoon, broad daylight. They try to off each other. So he was transported to hospital. We don't have any more info than that. We're going to leave it at that. But I'm only mentioning it because later on, if you have a better memory than me, when we get an update and it leads to something else, at least you will remember, not your old uncle here. He forgets. Next one, a young man, 19, pretends to work for BFM, arrested. Now, the word pretend, I got to be careful. He claims. I guess that's what the better translation. He claims, Uncle Forger's not always the best at translating on the spot live. You should try it when you got people listening and your mouth's got to move because people don't like silence. But I think I got this one. The man, 19-year-old, claims to work for the Blood Family Mafia, was arrested Wednesday. This one's an old one, August 21st. I'm late. He says he was arrested for threats against another 18-year-old. We got Levi, the red zone. It checks out. He was accused of criminal harassment, extortion, and threats. And they say that the police officer in charge is saying that he could be working for the account of the Blood Family Mafia when he was interrogated. He has a criminal background, despite his kind of young age. And then they had a search warrant to go check out his home, search there. They seized an airsoft tool as well as a hoodie. I wonder why you would seize a hoodie. But we continue with that. Now we get to the more main story, boys. The Hells Angels and a demonstration of force in the North Coast. You see, everything checks out. They weren't there by accident. Now, I have a problem with my speaker. Short story. It's gonna suck. I'm afraid of you might blow. Okay. Be prepared probably to lower your headphone volume. I apologize for this. It's a complicated situation.
Les Hells Angels.
I can barely hear what he's saying, but that's why I gotta max it out. It's not good for you, but I can barely hear myself. I have audio issues.
Ont participé à une démonstration de force sur la côte nord au cours de la fin.
You know what I'm going to do? I'll read the article instead. We'll skip what they're saying, and we'll look at the images. How about that? And I will translate the article. So you see them there. What can we get from these photos? It says, the Hells Angels are showing themselves. They're on display. And you see the cops taking pictures of them. And look, you got Marauders, MC, underlings there. So they're all of them. So that's not a coincidence. Remember, they beat up the guy at the bar. That was in the North Coast just like a couple of weeks ago. We talked about it. I showed you the footage. So I don't believe in coincidences. They were there. They're going there. They have a purpose there, and I'll find out when I'll read the article. But I'm just trying to get through the images for you. Now you see this dude here. What else can we get? Oh, and that's the bar, right? That's exactly the footage of the bar we saw together. Let's see what they're going to say. Let me just set something. Let me get... Members of the Hells Angels were at a passage in the North Coast since last Friday. Now, this article is 25th of August. So let me just check my stuff here. The 25th was not this Monday, the Monday before, and they're saying since last Friday. So they're talking about since August 22nd. So article's 25th. So tell yourself they're speaking about events around 21st to 22 August, all the way to the 25 when this article was written. Okay, so not too bad, 1 or 2 weeks. Now, a detachment of members of the Hells Angels and affiliated groups have circulated in the streets of the North Coast. They participated in a demonstration of force during the weekend, according to information obtained by the SQ. The SQ are watching them closely. And as you saw, when they say that the cops are helping them, the cops are friendly with them, I don't know about you, but I don't see that. They're there taking their pictures. They're not taking an album photo, pal. They're literally making their life miserable, taking their names and trying to find an excuse to find a tool on them and give them a contravention, how you say, the tickets. They're giving them tickets. Whatever they can do to make it miserable, they're there just for that. And also to collect a name of all the members and all that goodies, And they usually, this time, I don't think it's going to be reported. I doubt it. I don't know. I'm jumping the gun here. But last time, they really did bust a few. They took 1 or 2 and they ruined their whole day. They put them in prison. They found something on them, We're going to find out if they did this time. That's the goal. So, well, one of the goals, not the main one. The main one is really to collect data. So, where are we here, man? Oh, nice. Ryan C says, "I love when people like this help. Throw a little something." The hoodies, he's saying, my friend here is saying that when we talk about the hoodies in the previous article, the BFM guy, why did they seize the airsoft? But with the hoodie, he has a good observation. He says they took his hoodie for the fire tool residues. That's a good point. I don't know anything about that stuff. That's why I'm taking his word for it. Appreciate it. Coming back to this, my friend. So, what's going on? The police bodies estimate that this is an operation of visibility by the group. The bikers are looking to show their hands and their presence on the territory of the North Coast and on the stupefier market in the context of conflicts between different biker or different criminal groups. Starting Friday, so they're talking about like the 22nd of August-ish, right? Is that what the dates that I had? Was that it? Man, I'm lost with the dates at this moment. We said 25. Man, I think yeah, that's it. Yeah, the 22nd-ish, sorry. About the 22nd of August is starting from that Friday, the Hells Angels would have traversed different sectors of the North Coast before passing the night in Bécomo. So this is where it's really cool. We spent time on this. Do you remember the North Coast corridor I was talking to you about? And I explained to you that despite Canada being huge, the majority of people live along the water. So there's a water, fleuve, I don't know how you say this, I'll just call it a river. There's this river, basically, and this river, it's where all the towns where people live here. No one lives in the north, practically no one, except our good, beautiful indigenous people. But for us other people, we're here. We're in the south. So the North Coast is there's gonna be tons of towns. And what we've seen this year and last year, was I made these storyline videos where you saw events happening. Check out the videos that's like storytelling there's a live section on my channel, right? Like a video right now, it's live. But there's another section, if you click on YouTube, there's like live and there's videos. Click on videos and you're going to see videos from North Coast stuff. Check that out. I made edits to make them more entertaining for you. And you'll get a good resume of stuff that's been happening and which towns are there, etc. But I believe how we did it was you started from around Saguenay, and then from Saguenay, you would enter the North Coast from the north, if you go a little bit southeast, I think. And then you'd follow that North Coast northeast along the river, and there's different towns. And I do not remember right now, memory is bad, but I know at a certain point you'd hit 7th Island, or you'd be really deep inside the North Coast. And then I think Bécomo came after. Maybe it came before. At this point, my memory is really bad. But it was one of the towns along that coast, and it's disputed territory. And now the Hells Angels are definitely saying, look, Ice Pick, the cops got him. It's over. And the other half, he's hiding. He's on the run. We're not. We're visible. We don't have a bounty by the cops on us, and we're driving all over the place. And they're starting to beat up people, and using their people to beat up other people. Now they're on a marketing campaign. So where were we? So starting that. So this is like a campaign that started about the 21st of August, where the Hells Angels were traversing different sectors of the North Coast. So that's the other area they need to capture. So the red zone area is more the Quebec City area and its environment around it. And I guess, based on what I'm seeing here, I'm not hearing about this campaign in that area. Maybe it's because cops got ice picked Somel. You hit the leader, and then the surrounding people, they're scared, they're weak. Cops been hitting all of them. Probably, maybe I don't know. I'm guessing here. Maybe they're weakened, they're on the run, they're disorganized. It's over. But the other part where they have a leader, and that leader is on the run, and that guy's definitely been flexing his fingers and toes, having people move around, things like that. But he's been rather quiet. He's been rather quiet in the last 6-7 months. We hardly hear about that guy. I think that the Alboivin getting caught really spooked him. But if you were wondering this, there's the other side. Now you see Hell's Angels have, how you say, redirected their attention definitely on the North Coast. Last year, when they were putting their attention, they were doing their annual runs and all that. It was more towards the red zone area. Now they completely confident. It looks like they're okay with that area. Now they need to go and convince the populace along the coast that no, this part is also ours. It's over and game on. So that's my opinion on this. So they spent the night in Bécomo. They beat up the dude in the bar, and it's not done yet. I'll show you. So the SQ was not able to confirm their numbers, but says that the group that they surveilled with a specialized team, the cops specialized team. Forget about this. It's just logistics from the cops. Doesn't matter. Altercation in 7th Island. In fact, there's been one altercation implicating members of the motorcycle club affiliates in a bar in Sept-Îles. There was an investigation confided to the SQ. Got you there. Let's continue. The event was filmed. No arrests have been made so far. Retaking the monopoly. Sylvain Tremblay, ex-captain of the SQ, who was responsible for coordinating these squads of cops during the infamous Shark UC operation at the end of the 2000s, indicates that the territory of the North Coast belonged historically to the Quebec chapter of the Hells Angels. That's fitting. That makes perfect sense. You know, I like to see this. It explains a lot. Remember, Alboivin, it had his hands in that territory at a certain point. He was under the umbrella of the Hells Angels, which was confirmed. He was working with the Quebec chapter. So this is just beautifully, perfectly explained. And then with the BFM, they broke off, and they decided we're not working for you anymore. They maybe got a new plug, whatever the case may be, and there was the rebellion. But that's the point, is they managed it for these guys before. And now the Hells Angels, obviously, they had to find the new people to go and to keep up doing their work for them in that area. And now you see here, confirmed, that area was managed by the Quebec chapter of the Hells Angels. Everything is working out exactly like it should in the facts. It's perfect. Now, for the last 2 years, on the North Coast principally, we see a resurrection of violent events. He estimates that the territory is highly destabilized by the conflict between the Hells Angels and resellers of Stooges who are independent or affiliated to other criminal groups. And as we see now, the Hells Angels want to show that they want to retake the monopoly of trafficking Stooges in the North Coast. All right, Captain Obvious of the SQ. Now, this is a quote. How long is this going to take? For how long will there be confrontations? Sylvain Tremblay, ex-captain of the SQ, is asking. Quote, what we see currently, I don't see this, I don't know what, I'm not too sure about this expression. He seems to say, I don't see this as a good thing. I don't view this favorably. See, this is a great point. Now, he remarks that it is also risky for a criminal group to show themselves off publicly because they could attract the attention of the police. Something that I've been telling you before. At a certain point, these bikers, they were very public. Back in the days, they would go in bars in downtown Montreal and all that with Maurice Bamboucher and all that. They got so much attention. And after that, there was a point where they had to hide. And you would no longer see them. And you know, it was that, how you say that? I don't know if should call it a fad. It was it's maybe not the right word, but there was a fad, for a lack of better words. There is the fad of, we don't wear these anymore. We're sophisticated bikers now. Patches, nah. We just drive the big-ass truck, and we have one ring or two, and that's good enough for us. We're businessmen. We're above this. There's a point where this was what was going on what people were saying, that this was the attitude, but it was the attitude because of the police operations. It was over. They wanted to stay quiet. They thought that was the smart way of doing things, and I do think that was. But as you see, this is changing, and I don't believe this is changing purely because they want to risk getting busted by cops. Looks like they don't have a choice. Looks like they found out there's pros and there's cons, and now they're willing to deal with the cons. It's become required, no choice anymore. It has to be done this way. It's just my opinion. Let's see. So let's continue. Next article. Close to $1 million seized in a search warrant against the Hells Angels of Quebec. There you go. Another proof when some people say the cops are working for them. Maybe the cops prefer them. I won't argue with that. I'm sure the cops prefer them because the other side did a bunch of very nasty things. But this shows you that the cops are not trying to help them. They're trying to also damage them equally. Close to 1 million, or maybe they were damaging the other party first, and they got rid of the other one first. So at least they balanced the power. But once that's done, once they finish the other party, don't you worry, they're coming for the Hells Angels too. They're not gonna sit like this. So close to $1 million seized in a searches tied to the Hells Angels. I gotta be careful. Tied to the Hells Angels. Let's see here. The search on a residence. Searches in residence, two residents, and a vehicle used by members of a network tied to the Hells Angels. A network can mean a lot of things. So where are we here? They said Wednesday. So this one's August 28th, maybe a week ago. They seized $854,000. Yeah, this is a repeat. Sorry about that. Canadian. 31 grams of green plant, shatter, whatever, and 200 grams of cane. That's pitiful. So, not much. 20 units of M&Ms. So, they got the dealers, basically. They didn't catch anything serious here. It took 25 cops in this operation. Nothing major was done. They got 2 people. They arrested 2 people. And they were liberated after the investigation. Okay. Next story. Armed aggression in Quebec. A close friend of Dave Ice Pick Turmel arrested again. Who is this man? He had just come out of prison after having been condemned for trafficking stupefyers. So Ville de Quebec, we're back in the red zone. This one's 4th September 2025. 2 men tied to the Blood Family Mafia were arrested for aggressing someone with a knife or something. Oh, okay, nice. Now I would have loved. I don't like this stuff happening. It's just for our purposes to analyze things. It would be for me, anyways. I'm a nerd, but I would have liked to see that more in the red zone. But it's not in the North Coast. I would have loved to see the North Coast, but it's not. This one's we're flying to the how do you call it, into the red zone. So here you have it. They were arrested for targeting a person 2 weeks ago in a bar in Quebec. And striking that it's a bar. One of these 2 that were arrested is Brian Boutin Craig. We spoke about him before. The name rings a bell, but I don't remember anything more. He would be one of the handymen of Ice Pick Turmel. The attack goes back to the 21st of August in a licensed establishment on Rue Faune in Charlesbourg. The 2 men aged 28 to 39. Now, I do like to see the higher age. It makes it more serious. I have a hard time taking 18-year-olds seriously. But 28 and 39 would have aggressed another man with something. How you say with a? I don't want to use the words here. With a shank. Maybe shank I can get away with. The victim was gravely hurt, but his life is not in danger. They were arrested at 9 p.m. Wednesday night. Let's see, can we get more from this? No way. Is that? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we cannot forget this. We did talk about him before. So the saga was not over with him. I have another video. Check out the channel if you're ever interested in seeing what happened with him before. We have a look at the thumbnail. I think it's called Bound by Blood, something like that. And there's him and another right-hand man. So this is not some random guy who's in the BFM chain. This is really close friends of the leader. Really close friends. Yes, I remember. It was him and the Haitian guy. And there's a photo of both of them together. These are like literally their best friends here. So, okay, yeah. Freshly released from prison. The two men, well known by officers, are part of, I'll add the nucleus of I Speak Sobel's crew. The 28-year-old Brian Boutin Craig would be the right-hand man of the boss. They're repeating themselves here. He had just come out of prison, repeating themselves again after being condemned for trafficking stupefires in March. I guess that's when we covered this. The tribunals had condemned him to 45 months in the pen, but then he saw his temper. I don't have the words. Provisoire? I don't remember how you translate this. And into English, it was already purged. So technicalities of the court, time served and a half, things like that. You already know how Canada is wild, man. Canada is a perfect place for criminals. He could, and because of that, he could find his liberty in the last few weeks. So 45 months turned into like 6. You can't make this stuff up. Welcome to Canada. So he still had to be surveilled for a year. You know, you get probation and you have to meet conditions and things like that. He definitely he definitely respected all them conditions. So, where we got here. Yeah, they're just repeating themselves after this. So he'll have to, now he's being accused for more stuff. He's probably going to go back. Can I post the links? I'll do it. I'll try to remember, buddy. Thing is, I would love to do it for you right now. It's going to go into my private profile. And I need to have some private shit in there. I shouldn't use that word. But I'll do it, and I'll do it after. Okay. I don't like to disappoint. Give me 3 seconds. I'm just writing this on a piece of paper so I can honor my word. Give me 1 sec. I apologize to everyone. What was it for Serrano? For Serrano, he wants, I guess you're looking for the video of this guy. Oh, gotcha. Yes, okay. I wrote it on a sticky note for me. After this video, I will dump a comment in the video I'm filming with you right now. I'll put it in a comment. In like 10 minutes after this video ends, check it, look at the comments. You should find a link. I'll post the link for you. All right? Apologies for everybody else for waiting. Let's continue. His condition was not to eat the next Big Mac, or he could not stay away from those fries. That's a good one, man. You're talking about me. I try to not do that, but I can't resist, bro. With extra Big Mac sauce. Okay, last article. This here is censored by me by using an app, or else this could not appear on the screen. But you know what this really means here. It's the F word. Frick BFM is the quote. Somebody's yelling that. Sympathizers of the Hells Angels attack a man at his exit from a bar. Where? In 7th Island. Sept-Îles. There you go. The action continues. What did I tell you? What a bunch of coincidences that are all happening at the same time in the North Coast. And I'm sure by now you believe me. These are not coincidences. They cannot be one after the other chain of events. So now the problem is YouTube treats us like a bunch of babies. So if I show you this video, it's going to ding me. And I'm going to pay the price. I might be able to do it by removing the sound, though. You know? Being family friendly in that way. But 2 men have served a severe punishment or correction to another individual as he was leaving the bar on Friday or Saturday. Now, this one is from 2nd of September. So this was fresh. Now, apologize. It's going to blow your ear for a second. Okay, there you go. I removed the sound. Maybe I'll be able to get away with it. Now, you see, if I get removed from YouTube, now just remember, I took one for the team. The risks I'm taking for this one. So, yeah, they're playing Magic Ball. They're happy. Sorry, I'm trying to help YouTube, to help me out. So here they are giving each other hugs because everybody loves pets. Dogs are amazing creatures. And here in this video demonstrates two puppies hugging each other and smiling and having a great time. Everybody loves dogs. I love dogs. You love dogs. You like little cute kittens. Here are the two cute kittens playing. You know how kittens play, and they're eating this delicious food, and it's bending over, and the owner's giving his kitten some nice, delicious biscuits. And you got the biscuits there. The other owner is giving his puppy a little bit of love there, and just trying to to show you how loving and caring this scenario was. Sorry about that, guys, but you see what happened there. Let's continue. So just to tell you what you would hear in the video, I had to remove the audio for obvious reasons. So maybe maybe we can have for once we can see something, But he was yelling "frick BFM." They were staring at each other at this point here. So the other guy was backing up, right? And now I want to show you something. Now look carefully. Do you see this young man? This guy who was the most on fire. He's wearing. You see what he's pointing? He's pointing at his own shirt in the back. He's pointing the back of his shirt. I just want to show you. And you saw that. You saw on the front what it said? It's a little bit flu, but I think it says property. I think it says property. Property of 81. Did you notice that? Maybe we'll be able to... there you go. See the shirt? 81. So I'm assuming it says support 81. Now this man here is not 40 years old. He looks almost like a teenager. You can almost tell he's a teenager. So some kid who has a lot of... he worships his idols. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how this fight started or if they were sent there. But remember, the Hells Angels are having an event there. So it wouldn't be surprising if they have their fanboys showing up dressed with their support shirts and all that, and drunk and things like that, or maybe just the Hells Angels are sending out their demons to do the Lord's work. So you saw what happened there. Here you go. We get quotes here. It says, here you go. Here's a quote. Je les attends toute la gang. Frick BFM, the Blood Family Mafia. It says, I'm waiting for the whole gang. F the BFM. We could hear in the video diffused on social networks after getting into it in front of the bar called The Tuxedo, Le Tuxedo, on Boulevard Laure in Sept-Îles. The two men aim at their target before doing whatever they did. I can't really describe, you know why. War of Stupefires. The description, I'm trying to skip too many details here. Here you go. Here's another quote that this guy said. I believe it was him with the Support 81 shirt. BFM, when are you guys gonna understand that you are little bees without tools? Says in the video. Now, I don't know about that. They actually do. Now, let us remind the people that there's a violent conflict opposing, since the last 3 years, the Hells Angels and the BFM in numerous regions of Quebec, including the North Coast, for the control of stupefire trafficking. Now, we're not able to confirm if the identity of the victim in this story is really tied or not to the gang of Ice Pick Turmel. Someone who I don't know how you translate this. It's someone who's a repeat offender. There you go. That's the word, repeat offender. In the sequence, or in the video, we can see one of the two assailants pointing to the back of his shirt, as I told you, in which is written Support 81, a symbol of support for the Hells Angels, a symbol that's used all across the world. Now, this newspaper says, according to our infos, this same individual, the one with the Support 81 shirt, already has a long rap sheet, despite his young age. He has, amongst others, already faced accusations of armed aggression in another case, which is still pending in court. So I imagine it's all related to this kind of stuff. And now the SQ, who's commenting on this event, says that they were not called. 911 was not even called, so no police ever even showed up at the scene of this fight. He says there is currently no investigation ongoing in this event that you saw in the footage. Now, I don't know about the cops, how lazy you must be to have no events, no investigation related to these events. You actually need a phone call to launch an investigation? Really, I think that says a lot about you. The red tape. Now, it's a second fight in 1 week, and you know the other one. You could see it here. Now, I'm not going to play this one because I just used the magic word, and the algo will do the job correct. You feel me? But that was in another bar in Sept-Îles. Yeah, that's it. Now, okay, so I do trust this newspaper a lot. They do a lot of good stuff. Vincent Desbiens, its name is Vincent the Goods, and he usually brings in the goods. He definitely does. I like Vincent, so I'm gonna take his word for it. Let's read. In this short video, the victim, who was naked-chested, not wearing a shirt, and had his face pummeled. He was targeted by two men wearing vests of patched bikers from Quebec without other identifiers that could be visible. Remember, there was no identifiers, and I had to ask a couple of yous, and you told me they are probates. Someone who who does not get the full patch yet, he has to earn his stripes, and as you can see, by doing this kind of stuff, you can earn your stripes in order to become a full patch or whatever their full patch they were supposed to be. Now, I was assuming they were going to become full patch, maybe Red Devils, maybe. I had a hard time believing Hells would send a temp to go do this. But here's the kicker. According to our infos, this newspaper, it could very well be aspiring Hells Angels. Now, I hope they're not playing with words, as in, yeah, they're probates to become Red Devils, and, a Red Devils member wouldn't mind someday also becoming a Hells Angels. I hope they're not playing words like that. So, but I think that would be audacious. I'm leaning towards they actually do mean that the two men there were attempts to become full patch Hells Angels. So that's what they seem to indicate. Actually, if that's true, that would be a first ever footage that you would find of future Hells Angels literally wearing the probate patch, beating someone up on tape in the middle of a biker versus BFM war. That would be That would be a first, man. Yes, and approximately 5 other men wearing similar vests, of which one of them was a full patch member of Ange de l'Enfer. So he's talking about Hells Angels. It's just in French. Ange de l'Enfer. Angels from Hell. Yeah. And it was helping out. All right, that's it. So that's it for today. Keep this video right here. What do you think? What do we learn from all this? So, is it true? Is the BFM losing its grip? Is that all it took? All it took. The guy coordinating the whole thing that was hiding inside of Portugal and Italy. That's all it took. Just cops capturing him. That's it. There's no more orders coming in. It's over. It's directionless. And whoever is on the streets now is basically fending for himself. There's no organization. No, it's not organized enough, and it's going to dwindle. And the Hells Angels will rip them apart like vultures, all the low-hanging fruits, until it's old news. Is this where this whole saga for the last 2-3 years ends? That's my question. But evidently, as you see, now the Hells Angels are upping the ante. They were not doing this as far as I could tell, or you and me could tell, in the last 2-3 years. They did do some, to be fair, but now they're really, we're really getting the news events popping up front page for us. Crazy. All right, I'll leave it there. So yeah, man. Hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, if you want to help me out, I do appreciate anyone joining, clicking members, subscribing or joining the members. Small donation to help your old uncle continue this work. But other than that, man, I'm gonna bid you a good day. Have a great time, a great evening, my friends. I appreciate it, and gonna give you guys a shout out. Give a shout out to Billy Gamel, Chris Inslee, Mr. Green Thumb from Ottawa, Sheriff of YouTube, Jesse Marasco, Ryan C, and Aggressive Bat 34, DJ. Did I miss Anthony? Yeah, no, I didn't. I want to double check. Anthony Serrano, thank you. Anthony, appreciate it. And Max the Youth. Hello, Max. Sorry, man. I just saw your message. Sometimes I miss your messages, bro. And DJ, did I say DJ already? Shout out to DJ. 518 Choppers from New York. Awesome to have someone from the US, for sure. I appreciate you, man. And who else did I miss? Nexus 1709. He says, good evening to all. I almost missed Stéphane Lessard. And he's from 7th Isle. You know, Stéphane Lessard. He has the same last name as one of the original members of the Quebec Hells Angels. There's tons of Lessard. It's not unique. I'm just having a little bit fun with him. And you got, who else we got? And you got the Silent Bunch, man. You, especially you, doesn't say anything. I appreciate you, though, because you're a respectful fellow. You know, Forger's not invincible here. You know, Forgers sometimes make mistakes. Forgers sometimes slow. Forgers sometimes may mistranslate. Forger sometimes is ignorant. But you're kind enough to not nitpick me to death. You know? You're just there quietly, respectfully trying to help me out. And I appreciate that, man. It's like I say. It's also not what you say. It's what you don't say. You know? That you're a scary mother effer right there. You know? Maybe you're one of those guys mentioned in this article. Maybe you are. I wouldn't doubt it. Some of you are maybe once every 5 videos, one of you has been mentioned in this video. You know, I'm not messing with you, man. I'm just reading and translating this from Français to English. That's all I'm doing. You know, so that people can get the first dips. What happens from someone who actually lives in the province or lives in Canada. Because before Forger, no one was interested in this stuff. Almost nobody. There was one dude I respect. He did it. He was not out of fear of missing out. His name was Rufus Podcast. He's the OG from New York. I think he was from New York. He was a cool dude. That was it. There was no interest in none of this stuff. You know? But now there is. Now this stuff is exploding. It's impossible to ignore. But in my opinion, it was impossible to ignore 10 years ago. You had all those mafia wars. It was just so much. It was so much. It was deep. But why did nobody care? You know? Nobody cared. They thought there was no audience. They thought there was no audience for this stuff. But now more and more people are getting interested in it. But the stories, it's always been crazy like this. This is not new. This has been happening for decades. It's been crazy like this for decades. With peaks and valleys. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great night. I appreciate you. Merci, Billy Gamel. Merci beaucoup, frère. C'est vraiment apprécié. Ben, je reçois des insultes. I receive insults all the time, and I'm not here for that, man. Doing this for the love, bro. That's all I got. You know, I don't got rewards from this. It's a thankless job to do this. But when I get one comment like that, I really, it means a lot to me. Thank you. He says, Stéphane Lessard says, we don't say North Coast, we say North Shore. That's a good point. You know, I make my own lingo. I create my own lingo. That's why. I have fun creating my own lingo, and I break the rules. I also break the rules. You're not supposed to translate. You're supposed to say Sept-Îles. You're supposed to say Côte Nord. You're supposed to say it like that, you know? Me, it's because I think we got too many rules in Quebec, you know? It's like a crime if I translate a word into English, You know, like these newspapers, like Journal du Québec, their audience would explode if they would have a section that's you click on and it's translated into English. Their revenue could maybe double or triple, but they're so hard headed, and they're missing out. You know, I think we got so many rules, but I understand the logic behind it. But it's like there's just too many rules, man. You know, you're gonna buy a fridge soon, and it's gotta have it has off and on button in there. It cannot be off and on soon. It has to be something else. It has to be perfectly written in French. But you're ruining the businesses who are gonna have in trouble. You know how difficult it is to custom make all that stuff. It's just making everything more complicated. So I have a little bit my fun with this, and I do stuff you're not supposed to do. And every other 3 months, I get someone that gets really mad at me, really angry. But I've been breaking rules for a long time, and I keep doing that. I make up my own lingo, and I rub it in sometimes, you know. But the smart ones don't get. You say the smart guys, they know I don't have any ill will. You know, I'm just breaking the rules to have fun, you know. But it's also a big reason is if I say it's like if you're listening to a documentary, you listen to a documentary, and the person's pronouncing words that you cannot pronounce. You're gonna have a hard time. Eventually, there's just too many words in another foreign language. Just imagine if I'm telling you stuff from a documentary in Chinese. I'm speaking in English, and then I'm saying xiao log log or chong ching. You're not gonna be able to follow. After a while, I'll give you 20 names. You won't be able to. Here we do have a chance. I can actually translate the words into English. So then you can you can have the slang for yourself in English in your head. This way, it's just easier for you to follow the story, man. You know. This way you can say, okay, North Coast. But if I make you pronounce words that you don't know what it means and you can't even pronounce them, eventually you just get lost. I'll keep adding more words, more towns, and you're just gonna be difficult for you. And I'm translating this for an English audience, you know. So I'm trying to make it easier my way by breaking rules and rubbing it in. But that's all, man. I hope it helps some people out, you know. And it's also it's like our own little lingo. And I made some words that they don't even translate. Stupefiers does not mean stupefiers in English at all, you know. It's just I'm making a joke. I'm making a joke out of this. Stupéfiant. It does mean the substance in French, you know. But in English, it doesn't mean that. But I'm using stupefiers to make fun of it, you know. It does sound like stupefiers, but it's because stupid. It makes you stupid. So I use that word to dodge the YouTube algorithm. I do certain things like that. It's my own little world here with you. We can have fun with this, you know, together. It's no more than that. To help people, to make jokes, and to rub it in a little bit. Anyways, thanks a lot, guys. Have a great day. I appreciate you. Thank you for being understanding, and have a great day. Thank you. And Stéphane Lessard is right. He says, we don't call it North Coast. We call it North Shore. Côte Nord. Exactly, bro. Maybe I should use North Shore, you know? But I for some reason, I wanted to say North Coast just to make it. I don't know why, man. I like to be outrageous like that. But the funny part is it's not even a North Coast. If you wanted to be technical, you look at the map, it's the South Coast. But we have to call it. It's so funny how we word stuff over here. But yeah, when I say North Coast, now everybody knows what it is. Instead of me saying Côte Nord, and they're going to repeat Côte Nord, they don't even know what they're saying. I think it's cool. It's better like this for the other provinces, other audiences, Americans, and everything like that, you know? Make it a little bit easier. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a great night. Thank you.